All right, welcome back, Guardians fans. We're about to start the third game of this series against Omaha Mavericks down here in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Mavericks win the draw back to their D. They then go across ice, trying to move it up. That's nearly broken up by the Guardians. Mavericks starting to push it up. That's intercepted by Campbell. Campbell now pushing it down into the Maverick zone. He moves to the middle of the ice. He gets through. He then has that puck knocked off his stick into the far corner. Both teams battling down the corner. Campbell taps it back to Simonson. Simonson now with it. He moves it deeper into the zone. He then moves it in towards the net. Campbell now with it on stick. That comes out to Cronlin. Cronlin fires it on net. That tip block comes right back to Cronlin. Cronlin passes it over to Algrim. Algrim now skating it in towards the net. He backhands it right out in front. That tips out. Comes out to Simonson. Simonson passes it down to O'Brien. O'Brien chips it over to Cronlin. Cronlin now with it. He backhands it to Algrim. Algrim now starts to skate in towards the top of the circles. He shoots. That tips, and that's a goal. That tips off O'Brien. I think they'll give that goal to O'Brien with an assist from Cronlin and Algrim. So that's goal number one for the Guardians with 13:07 left in the first period. As we move in for the face-off. Mavericks win the draw back to the fence. They then go cross ice. Mavericks now start to enter the Guardian zone. They try to centering pass. That's loose right out front. That comes to the far side. It's broken up by Morvacek. They try to get up to Barr. Barr picks it up on his backhand. He's now skating it in towards the net. He's taking off the puck. Mavericks now coming back the other way. They throw it out into the neutral zone. Hagee's now regrouping. He turns. He then goes cross ice to Morvacek. Morvacek then moves it up to Olsen. Olsen now moving it up. He fires it on net. That goes over. That's going to go over for Amos to pick up on the half wall. Amos can't hold on. That comes right out to Hagee. Hagee dumps it back down deep to Amos. Amos then flips it around to Barr in the corner. Barr now coming into the net. He shoots. That goes wide. Morvacek's going to step up to hold the zone. He starts to come around. Barr now with it. He skates it through the top of the zone. He passes it over to Hagee. Hagee now moves it in. He fires towards the net. That comes up in the air, knocked down by the Mavericks defenseman. Hagee comes in. He dumps it back deep. That's going to rim all the way around behind the net. Amos is going to pick it up. He dumps it back to Barr. Barr's trying to come out front. That's poked away. Puck ends up behind the net. Amos there trying to battle. Barr's able to knock that puck away. He gets it in the corner. He skates it in towards the net. He backhands it. He comes through traffic. Comes around. Backhands it towards the net. Ends up in the corner. Mavericks pick it up behind the net. They try to go out the boards. Morvacek's got a hold. Mavericks now able to get it out of the zone as they start to move through the neutral zone. That's broken up. They dump it right on net. Lombardo pushes it out to Hagee to play. Hagee then goes cross ice to Barr. Barr now moving through the neutral zone. He comes to the outside. He's got some room. He fires. That's blocked away by the goaltender behind the net. Mavericks now rimming around the far side. Hagee steps up to hold the zone. Mavericks are able to get it out into the neutral zone. They then move it up. Hagee's going to pick that up. He comes around. He's able to get it out of the zone. He's now skating it up through the neutral zone. He gets it to the far side. He's now starting to move in towards the net. He comes around behind. He's looking for an opening. He comes through. He fires. That's deflected. Kicks out. That's pushed over into the corner. Cronlin now picks it up on the blue line. He dumps it back to O'Brien. O'Brien then dumps it deep. Mavericks then send it the length of the ice high in the air, and that's going to be an icing. Face-off will come back into the Maverick zone. Scores 1-0 with 10:48 left in the first period. Guardians win the draw. Algrim goes to Simonson. Simonson then moves around on the blue line. He gets it over to Cronlin. Cronlin comes back. He gets it back to Simonson. Simonson then goes to Algrim in the zone. Algrim then tries to move it in, but that's broken up. Mavericks pick it up behind the net. Guardians intercept. Battling now behind the net for possession of the puck. O'Brien now with it. He gets taken, and Cronlin gets stepped aside. Mavericks now moving. Got 2-on-1 coming back the other way. They come in, they fire, and they score. Scored that goal with 10:15 left in the first period. Score's now 1-1. Mavericks come out with the draw as they start to move it into the Guardian zone. They now move it right to the net. That shoot there goes way wide. That's going to rim all the way out to their point. They pick it up on the half wall and dump it back down deep. Simonson, or Heggie picks it up. He starts to skate it out of the zone. He tries to get it over, but that's behind Olsen on the far side. Olsen picks it up. He dumps it. That's going to rim all the way around behind the net. Amos is going to try to get over there, put pressure on. He picks that up. Mavericks rim it around. They pick it up on the half wall as they start to leave the zone. Moravicek steps up. That's then poked away by Olsen. Olsen then tries to dump it deep, but that's broken up right in the neutral zone. Amos then able to get it into the zone, but Amos able to get back on sides. Puck scoots right on the blue line. They go back out into the middle. Auburn's now going to pick up that puck. He goes to the outside. He gets hooked. No call. Now they're going to call that. So they are going to get that hooking penalty, and Guardians will go on the power play. Face off down in the Maverick zone. Faceoff comes out to Cronlund. Cronlund then goes deep. That's intercepted. Comes right back to Cronlund. Cronlund then dumps it deep down into the zone. O'Brien goes into pursuit. They're going to rim that all the way around. Simonson trying to get there. That board over there had always taken a weird bounce. Comes right out to the middle all the way down into the Guardian zone. Cronlund going to go back. He reverses it back over to Campbell. Campbell picks it up as he circles back into the zone and comes around behind the net. He then moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to chip it out to Algren. O'Brien picks it back up. He's able to get that puck into the zone. Alden sprints up, trying to get it deeper. He comes in around the net. He's met by a couple Maverick players. He's battling down in the near corner. O'Brien moves in. He's taken down. Campbell's going to pick that up. He moves it out to Cronlund at the point. Cronlund goes over to the center to Simonson. Simonson now steps up. He fires, and that's held on to by the Mavericks goaltender. 31 seconds left on the Guardians' power play. Face off down in the Maverick zone. Guardians push the puck over into the corner. It's then shot high up into the air into the near corner here. Lars putting pressure there on the half wall. They then move it out in the middle as they start to leave the zone. Guardians now moving up the near side wall. Moravicek gonna push him to the outside. They then try to centering pass. Moving it up the far side. Takes off the puck. Mavericks now pick it up. They go D-to-D in their own zone. They then throw it up into the middle of the ice. They can't hold on. Higgie's now going to pick that up. Higgie then shoots it off the boards. That goes right back to the Mavericks. Barr now battling just outside the Guardian zone. He's able to break that up. Puck comes back into the neutral zone. Mavericks now moving down in the Guardian zone. They shoot it on net, but that's broken up. Amos is going to pick it up. He chips it up out of the zone. Mavericks are able to get it through the neutral zone. They're now coming in. Moravicek's going to hit that one out to safety. Amos now battling there on the half wall on the far side. That comes out to their point. They try to fire it on net. That comes right out. They fire it back towards the net. Moravicek intercepts. He throws it down in the corner to safety. Higgie picks it up. He then reverses it back around the net. Moravicek going back into the near corner. He gets to get it up to Olsen. Olsen now tries to get it to Barr. That's a little long out of his reach. That comes all the way through, down into the Maverick zone. So Guardians might have got away with one there. May have been a trip, not sure. Algram now battling down in the far corner. That comes out. Moravicek holds his own, dumps it back down deep. That goes all the way around behind the net over to the far corner. Mavericks pick it up. They pass it out into the middle as they start to leave the zone. They're now moving it through the neutral zone. They gain the red line and then dump it in. Moravicek goes back to pick it up. He starts to skate it up the ice. He chips it up, trying to get it to Algram, but that comes back the other way. Mavericks now with it just in the top of the zone. They dump it back down deep. Moravicek's going to go down to get it. He rims it around to Campbell. Campbell gets it to Algram. Algram now gets it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now starting to move through the neutral zone. He tries to get it out in the middle. He's taking off the puck. Gets it back. O'Brien now with it. Then he's smothered by a couple Maverick players. They hit it over to the half wall. Algram now there. Puck comes out in the neutral zone. Cronin goes over the other D to the far side to Higgy. Higgy picks it up. He hits it up the boards. Trying to get to O'Brien. O'Brien gets it to Algram. That's intercepted. Mavericks now coming back through the neutral zone. That's intercepted by Algram. Algram now starting to move up the ice. That comes off the stick. Comes down into the corner here. Campbell now with it. He goes over cross ice to Simonson. Simonson moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now, he's met with pressure from the Mavericks players. Puck's just inside the blue line. They throw it back out into the neutral zone, and Cronin brings it back to regroup in his own zone. He starts to skate it out. He then goes cross ice. That's broken up by the Mavericks. Puck's loose out in the middle. Campbell's trying to pick that puck up. Mavericks then able to get it, and they shoot it down into the net. And Lombardo's going to jump on that and hold on. Face-off will be down in the Guardian zone. 4:46 left in the first period. Scores 1-1. Mavericks win the draw back to their point. Amos can put pressure on. They rim it all the way back down behind the net. Gronlund battle in the corner. Barr's in there to help out. That shoots right out in front of the net. Simonson's able to hit that out into the near corner. Simonson now battling. Barr now with it. He skates it out. He gets it over to Gronlund. Gronlund now backhands it up to Amos. Amos now moving it through the neutral zone. He tries to get up to Barr. He can't hold on. That comes over in the far corner. Barr now battling along with Amos. Mavericks rimming around. Simonson's going to step up deep into the zone. He gets it. He chips it back, trying to get it to Olsen. Mavericks now coming back the other way. Olsen's able to hold it on the blue line. They're able to just get it out. They then throw it along the boards. Cronin's going to step up as he starts to move through the neutral zone. He's got a lane to the net. They're going to be offsides. That'll bring the face-off just outside the Mavericks zone with 3:51 left in the first period. Mavericks win the draw. They start to skate it out of their zone. They hit it off the wall. It's intercepted by Algram. Puck battle now down the far side. Campbell comes out with it. He skates it over the boards, then rims it up. That's going to go all the way around the net into the near corner. O'Brien goes in the pursuit, trying to cut off that breakout pass. He gets it back to Moravicek. Moravicek dumps it deep. Algram now with it in the corner. He gets it back to Moravicek. Moravicek holds the zone. Campbell can't hold on. That puck gets slapped all the way across the ice. Higgy's then able to hold the zone. Higgy now with it. He moves it into the middle of the ice. He's looking for space. He cuts back. He then moves it deeper into the zone. He's got it down in the near corner. He cuts back. Moves it up to O'Brien. That just hops over a stick. Maverick's going to pick it up in the far corner. Campbell's there. O'Brien intercepts. O'Brien now trying to get through one of the Maverick defensemen, trying to get it to the net. Puck battle down in the corner. We got 2-3 guys laying down there. Algram comes out with it. Algram tries to pass it over. He gets it over to Moravicek. Moravicek then fans on it. Now we got a foot race down the ice. Higgy's going to get there first. Higgy backhands it back to Campbell. Picks it up on the half wall. He circles up. He gets it to O'Brien. That's going to be offsides on the Mavericks. Face-off will be just outside the Guardian zone. 2:29 left in the first period. Both teams starting to line up. Guardians win the draw, back to Cronlund. Cronlund chips it up to Olsen out of the zone. Mavericks now coming back the other way. They dump it down deep. Cronlund's going to go back. He gets it over to Simonson in the middle of the ice. Simonson gets it back to Cronlund. Cronlund now moving it up the wall. He passes it out in the middle. That hops over the stick of a Guardian player. Mavericks now moving up the other side. Simonson now goes down. Mavericks now come back at a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. They fire it. That's blocked up over the net by Lombardo. Just chipped up the wall to Olsen. That comes right out in the middle of the ice. They fire. That's blockered away into the corner by Lombardo. Barr picks up the puck in the corner. He's then taken off the puck. Puck then shot out front. That comes out. Cronlund's going to step up. Barr now battling in the corner. Mavericks come out with it. They skate it right up to the net. They shoot. That's blocked away by Lombardo. It's now chipped out. We now got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Olsen picks it up, fires, that comes to the backside. Amos not able to get a stick on it. Mavericks now coming back the other way. That's poked away by Higgy. Higgy now moving up the ice. He passes it over to Amos on the near side here. Amos now starting to move through the neutral zone. He gets it into the middle. He's then met by a couple of Maverick players. He's taking off the puck. They move it back into the neutral zone. They then try to go cross ice. Algrim's there to intercept. Algrim then dumps it down deep into the zone. Campbell starts to put pressure on into the corner. He chases him around behind the net. Mavericks then move it up the near side, then all the way across ice. That's going to come out. Moravicek's going to step up. Moravicek slaps it up the boards through the neutral zone. Campbell picks it up. He's taken down. Algrim picks it up. Moravicek moves up, but he's going to pinch, then decides to retreat back. Mavericks now coming back the other way. Puck's just inside the zone. They chip it in towards the net. Moravicek's going to pick it up as he starts to move it up out of the zone. He gets it up, trying to get it to Campbell. They then move it cross ice as they start to get back into the zone. They then pass it up. That comes out. Lombardo pushes that out to safety into the corner. We got 20 seconds left in the period. And one of the Mavericks players slides into the net and dislodges it. And we'll have a face-off. Looks like the Guardians are going to have a penalty. Moravicek will go in the box, and Mavericks will go on the power play. Mavericks win it. They shoot it. That's blocked away by Higgy. Campbell comes out with it on the far side. He starts to move it through the neutral zone. He's rubbed off the puck. O'Brien then is able to chip that up into the Mavericks zone. We got 4 seconds left. They go cross ice, but we're not going to have enough time to get it there, and that's the buzzer, and that'll do it for the first period. So after one, the score is 1-1. Shots on net. Our Guardians 5, Mavericks 7. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the second. The buzzer has sounded, signaling both teams to get back out into the face-off area for the start of the second period. Guardians will start this period a man down. We'll have to defend a penalty here for another minute and 13 seconds. Both teams starting to line up. Referee signaling the goalies. Looks like we're all good as we move into puck drop. Mavericks win the draw. They start to skate it down the near side here. They drop it back to their defense. They then move it up the middle. That's intercepted by Algram. Algram now moving it through. Mavericks are able to chip it out into the neutral zone. They then move it into the middle of the ice. They start and move it to the outside. Simonson gets a stick on it. Lombardo then directs it around behind the net. That comes around to Algram on the far side. He backs it. Now we got a jump by Campbell. Campbell's got a breakaway. He's got two guys putting pressure on him. He's taken down. He's knocked off the puck from behind. Campbell picks it back up. He chips it out to Simonson. Simonson fires it on net. The goaltender's able to glove that one and hold on.
Yeah, both. I thought it was.
So a good scoring opportunity there for the Guardians. Campbell, he's at a rush to the net. Had heavy pursuit on the backside there. He wasn't able to settle that puck down and get a shot off. Comes out to Simonson and he fires it on net. Oh, face off down in the Maverick zone. Mavericks win the draw as they start to skate it out. They backhand it out into the neutral zone. Crom and away. He chips it off to the far side. Mavericks pick it up. They jump it back to their D to regroup. They go to the far side, then back cross ice. As they start to move it all the way through the neutral zone, they fire it on net. That's deflects out. Lombardo pushes it off into the near corner. Battle now behind the net. Simonson's going to come out with it as he starts to skate out of the zone. He chips it up to Campbell. Campbell then goes high off the glass, just enough to get in the zone. Algram's able to get down and get control of that puck. He skates it around behind the net. He passes it out to Olsen. Olsen fires it on net. That hits off the crossbar and up into the netting. Great scoring opportunity there. Nice shot by Olsen. Just hits that crossbar and deflects up. Oh, a face-off down in the Mavericks zone. Mavericks win the draw back into their own corner. They come up the same wall. That's going to go up the side wall. Higgy's trying to hold the zone. Mavericks come out with it. Barr's in pursuit. He's able to break that up. Morvacek comes in to help out. Morvacek now with it. He comes up the boards. Mavericks are able to hold the zone as they skate it out of the wall. They move it towards the net. That shot, that's blocked away by Lombardo. Puck's now behind the net. Lombardo pick it up. That's going to be enough to get out of the zone. Olsen now coming through the neutral zone. We got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Olsen moves it over. He rims it around to the far side. Amos is there to pick it up. He fires it, tries to fire it back towards the net. Mavericks down to a cross ice. That's broken up by Barr. Barr pushes it down deep in the zone. Mavericks pick it back up and throw it back out into the neutral zone. Mavericks now circling in. They dump it on net, but that's not going to get there as Higgy was able to break that down. He then chips it up to Amos. Amos gets it up to Barr. Barr's moving to the outside. He gets around him. He comes around. He tries to backhand it in towards the net. He skates it around. He moves it out to Cronlin at the point. Cronlin moves it over to Higgy. Higgy now steps up. He fires. That's tipped. Blocked away by the goaltender into the corner. Amos now picks it up behind the net. He tries to get it out front to Algram. Algram now picks it up on the half wall. He's met by Mavericks player. They take it around. They skate it up. They're able to enter the zone. Cronlin then backhands it. They're able to hold the zone and backhand it up. Now it's intercepted by Campbell. Campbell now with a rush. He's got a lane to the net. He's got a couple guys in pursuit. He fires. That's blocked away. Puck's loose out front. Comes over to the far corner. Algram picks it up. He's met by two Mavericks players. He's taking out the puck as they start to move it out of the zone. That comes out in the middle. O'Brien then chips it off to the far side there. They're going to dump it all the way down the ice. That's going to be an icing. Lots of pressure there for the Guardians. As that face-off will come all the way back into the Maverick zone. Face-off's won by the Mavericks. They throw it up the boards. That comes out to Cronlin. Cronlin moves it over to Simonson in the middle of the ice. He steps around one guy and moves it over to O'Brien. O'Brien shoots. That just goes wide. Campbell now trying to get possession of the puck in the corner. Mavericks moving it up the wall. They're able to bump it out into the neutral zone and then throw it across the ice. Simonson's there. He uses a skate. He's able to intercept and break up that play. He moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien moves it up to Campbell. Campbell now moving to the far side. He moves it over. That's tipped. Hit it right into the goal, and he's able to hold on to that one. Good redirection there to set it up going right into the center of the goaltender, and he was able to hold on to that. A little face-off back in the Mavericks zone with 10:06 left in the second period. Score still 1-1. Bar moves in and take the draw. That's when it almost shoots right off the draw. That goes wide. Mavericks pick it up in the far corner. They throw it out to Moravicek. Moravicek then dumps it down deep into the zone. Bar comes down in the corner. That comes to Amos. Amos now picks it up. He starts to skate it around behind that. Passes out front. Bar's not able to get a stick on it to get it to the net. Puck's now shot up the boards. Mavericks are able to chip that one out. Higgy now going back in a foot race. He's taken down. So we're going to have a hooking penalty on the Mavericks as Guardians will go on the power play. Guardians win the draw to O'Brien. Higgy picks it up. Higgy looks. He goes back down to Algren. Algren now with it. He walks it out of the half wall. He gets it back to O'Brien. O'Brien passes it out front. Shot. That's picked away by the goaltender. Mavericks pick it up on the far side. They then go cross ice through the neutral zone, then back to the other side. They fired on that. That goes off of Moravicek's face mask. He's able to pick it up as he starts to skate it out of the zone. Algren then chips it up into the neutral zone. Mavericks chip it back. Higgy now with it. He starts to move it through the neutral zone. He's knocked out the puck, comes right to Campbell. Campbell moves back to Moravicek. Moravicek moves it over to Higgy. Higgy now steps up. He fires and gloved by the Omaha goalie. Mavericks win the draw. Campbell picks up the wall. He moves it back out to Cronlin. Cronlin now moves it over to Simonson. Simonson fans on it, but he's able to get it deep down into the corner. Comes back to Simonson. Simonson now starts to skate it into the zone. He drops it back to Algren. Algren fires, and that's gloved by the Omaha goaltender. Campbell picks it out as he moves through the top of the zone. He fires. That's deflected up over the net. Guardians in possession. They rim it out. Mavericks pick it up. They start to skate it through the middle of their own zone and then chip it off the boards. That's going to go the length of the ice. That's going to be an icing. Five seconds left on the power play. Face-off will come back into the Mavericks zone. .806 left in the second period. Score is still 1-1. Bar wins the draw to Amos. Amos then goes to Higgy. Higgy moves it over to Olsen. Olsen now tries the centering pass, but he's knocked off the puck. He's battling. He picks it up back in the corner. He hits it off. He tries to get it out front. That goes out the post. Back right to him. He's got it behind the net. He moves around the far side. He tries to get it out to Higgy, but that's intercepted. But Higgy's able to get down and deep into the zone. He then moves to the far side. Amos going to race down into the corner. Mavericks now pick it up on the far side. Both teams are now full strength. They pass out in the neutral zone. Higgy picks it up. They chips it off the boards. Mavericks chip it right back into the neutral zone. Barr now picks it up right in the middle of the ice. He passes it up to Amos. Amos gets it to Olsen. Olsen fires, and that's gloved by the Mavericks goaltender. Mavericks able to get that puck out into the middle of the ice. Barr now battling here on the wall. Higgy moves up to help out. Puck kicks back. They move it up through back to their defense. It's then broken up by Barr. Barr has it. He starts to skate it into the zone. He toe drags around a guy. He comes back around the net. He skates all the way out top. He drops it off to Morbacek. Morbacek then fires it in towards the net. That's blocked. Comes right off up. Puck's loose. Puck's still loose there in front of the net. Goaltender's able to reach out and cover that one. Guardians still continue to put pressure on this Omaha team. With 6:44 left in the second period. Still all tied up at 1. Face-off goes over into the near corner here. Mavericks pick it up. They move it out into the middle of the ice. And then try to chip it up out of the zone. Guardians almost hold it. Campbell's going to pick it up on the far side. He chips it down in the zone as he moves around. He's going to now move it towards the net. He tries to get it over to O'Brien. That goes over to the near corner. They then try to go up the boards, battling down there in the near corner. Algrim comes in to help out. That comes right out in the middle. Maverick player then comes out. Campbell's going to try to pick that up. Goes lost to the skates. Mavericks now pick it up. They move it over to the half wall. Campbell there, he's able to break that play up, try to move that puck back deep, but he's taking out the puck. Mavericks can't get the puck out of the zone. Comes out to O'Brien. O'Brien's knocked off the puck. They're now able to circle out as they start to move through the neutral zone. They move it to the far side. They then dump it deep. That goes around behind the net. Brahman picks it up behind the net. He sets it up. He chips up the wall. Campbell then tries to chip it out, but Mavericks are able to hold the zone. They dump it deep down in the corner. Brahman backhands it around to Simonson on the far side. Simonson picks it up as he starts to skate it out of his zone. He then moves it up to Algrim. He can't hold on. Mavericks pick it up. They knock it right back into the neutral zone, which comes to Simonson. Simonson goes cross ice as they regroup. Brahman now sees some open ice as he starts to skate it up through the neutral zone. He moves it to the outside. He passes it out in the middle. That's deflects off a skate. Now Mavericks coming back the other way. We got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. They move to the outside, and they're forced to dump it in. Simonson's going to race behind the net. He's met by one of the Maverick players. All of them now be able to pick it up. He's going to throw that, and that's going to be an icing. Off down in the Guardian zone. 4:52 left in the second period. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Morbacek rims it around to the far side. Higgy goes to pick it up. He chips it up to Olsen. Olsen now trying to get it out of the zone. Able to do so. Puck's now lost right there on the half wall. They then move it up. Higgy picks it up. He then goes cross ice to Amos. Amos now moving it up the far side. He gets taken down as he's battling down in the near corner. He skates it around behind the net. He's trying to find an open guy. He's then taken down. Mavericks coming out. Barr's able to intercept that play. Moves it over to Morbacek. Then comes up to boards. He gets it up to Barr. Barr trying to get that puck deep. Comes right to Amos. Amos has a lane to the net. He comes to the outside. He's trying to backhand. That comes right loose, right off front. Still there. Still loose in front. Goaltender sees it. He's able to get on top and cover. face-off back in the Omaha zone. Amos with the puck. Moravic's going to step up. That hits off the skate of a Maverick player. They're able to move it out of the zone. Peggy now steps up. She starts to move it into the zone. He loses it. That comes to Olsen on the far side. He's going to puck the race to half wall. He dumps it down deep. Barr's going to get there to pick it up on the backside. He dumps it back to Olsen. Olsen now goes back to Barr. Barr now circles around behind the net. He dumps it out to Moravicek. Moravicek over to Higgy. Higgy steps up. He claps it. That shot on net. Backhand. Goaltender's loose. Puck's loose out front. 2-on-2 coming back the other way. As that puck shoots out, as Guardians are crashing that. Moravicek does an excellent job crashing down right on the blue line there. But Mavericks are able to hold the zone. Peggy now with it. That comes right out into the middle of the ice. Barr now gets it onto his skate. He kicks it up to himself. He gets it up into the neutral zone. Mavericks now with it. They move it through into their own zone. They then go D to D. They then move it cross ice. Moravicek's going to step up. Dump that out to the boards to Olsen. Olsen gets it up to Barr. Barr now with the puck. He's got a lane to the net. He tries to get it over. That's behind Amos there. Mavericks down a little cross ice. Bromland's able to chip that up. Mavericks dump it deep down into the zone. They then try to go out to their D. Barr now able to chip it up out of the zone. Brantley, change! Guardian shot. Lombardo's able to hold on to that one and cover. Faceoff comes back into the Guardian zone. Faceoff's loose right on the faceoff dot. All of them goes down. Both teams battling for the puck. That comes up to their point. They dump it in. That's going to be intercepted by Allgrim. That moves over to Simonson. Simonson now starting to skate it out of his zone. He moves it to the outside and then backhands it once he gets past the red line. Down into deep into the Mavericks zone. Campbell there is down there with O'Brien. O'Brien picks it up behind the net. He comes around. Mavericks now pick it up. They got it in the far corner. That's broken up. Puck comes all the way around down to the far corner. Both teams battling down there. Puck's loose in the skates. All of them trying to get it out of there. Mavericks now rimming around behind their net. They're moving up out of the zone. Simonson now with it in the neutral zone. He comes around. He does a backhand pass, nearly intercepted. Guardians are able to get back possession as they are able to chip it back into the neutral zone. Mavericks now waiting to get back on sides as they start to enter the zone. And now throw it. That comes out to O'Brien on the far side. He starts to move through the neutral zone. He's able to push it past one of the defense. That comes to Allgrim. Allgrim now getting taken. O'Brien now with a wraparound. That's stuffed by the goaltender. Simonson now stepping up to hold the zone. He's trying to get that puck deep. They're then able to get it out. That comes out in the neutral zone, forcing Cromden to regroup. Barr now with it. He gets stripped off the puck. Mavericks now coming back the other way. They pass it cross ice. That's broken up by Simonson. Barr comes in to help out. Mavericks now move it down out of the zone. They move it cross ice. That's intercepted by Campbell. Campbell chips it up. Barr now with it. He starts to move it out of the zone. And that's going to be offsides. 41 seconds left in the second period. Score is still 1-1 while it faced off just outside the Guardian zone. I was like, Guardians on the draw. Olsen shoves it back out in the neutral zone, and Mavericks are able to slap that one deep. Olsen picks it up. He gets it to Amos. Amos now trying to chip it up to Barr. That's just out of his reach. Amos now trying to push that puck into the zone. Olsen, they're going to be offsides. That would have been a 3-on-1 opportunity there if they were able to stay on sides. Well, a face-off outside the Mavericks zone with 24 seconds left. Olsen tries to push the puck in. Barr pokes it out to Morvichuk. Higgy now with the puck. He goes cross ice, trying to get it over. That's going to go all the way down into the guard or into the Mavericks zone. Olsen tries to put up. They flip it high up into the air into the neutral zone. Morvichuk then goes cross ice to Higgy. 7 seconds left. He tries to get it up to Amos, and that's going to be long. Both teams play it, and that's going to expire time for the second period. So after 2 periods, score is still tied 1-1. Shots are Guardians 16. Mavericks 11. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll move into the third. All right, we're about to start the third period. The score is 1-1. Guardians push the draw back. Conlon moves up. He tries to hit the puck up. That gets up to Campbell. Campbell now moving through the neutral zone. He steps into the middle of the ice. He moves it over. O'Brien shoots. That's gloved away into the far corner. Algrim now with it. He backhands it deep into the zone. Campbell moves in to pick it up. Campbell then reverses it back to O'Brien deep into the corner. Bryan skating it around behind the net. He then hits the brakes, moves it back to Algrim, who skates through the top of the circles. He's knocked off the puck. Puck comes back into the corner. Puck's now battling behind the net. Campbell with it. He chips it out. Algrim trying to get control on the far side. Algrim goes down. Simonson moves into the far corner. That comes right out front, right through the goal crease, nearly into the net. Mavericks now coming out the backside as they start to move it out of their zone. They then go cross ice. That's going to go to O'Brien. O'Brien moves it up to Simonson. Simonson then moves it over to Campbell. He can't hold on to that cleanly and bounces right back to the Mavericks. They're now moving it through the neutral zone. They centering, and that's intercepted by Campbell. Campbell moving up the far side. He then chips it off the boards and goes for a change. Mavericks regrouping in their own zone. They go across ice, then right back into the middle of the ice. That's nearly broken up by the Guardians, so they get it to the far side. Higgy's pushing them out. Puck's now loose right in front of the net. They backhand it. Lombardo's able to get a stick on it. That chips up over the net. Olsen now picks it up on the half wall. Conlon now with it. He starts to skate it out of the zone. He dumps it off. Barr's able to get that puck out of the zone into the neutral zone. Mavericks now pick it up. As they start to regroup, they dump it off back to their deep. They go. Barr's able to get a stick on it. Conlon now. That might have been offside. Conlon able to pick it up. They're moving out of the neutral zone. Conlon's moving up the far side. He steps around one of the defenders there. He then centering pass. Puck's loose right out in front. Mavericks then swipe it out of there. Higgy has to go back to the neutral zone to regroup. Higgy now with it. He circles out. He's now moving up through the neutral zone. He sends it up to Amos. Amos now chips it up to Barr. Barr picks it up in the far corner. He's met by a Maverick player. He's taken down. They then cross it out. That deflects out. Mavericks now coming back 2-on-1 the other way. That comes over to the far side. They try to get it back. That kicks the skate of Moravicek. That goes around behind the net. Higgy's then able to hit it off into the half wall. Amos there comes to the point. They shoot it in towards the net. That's deflected. Lombardo's able to get his hand back there and keep that one out. That was definitely going in, but Lombardo makes an amazing save, reaching back to keep that one out. Gets a couple head taps from that one from some of his teammates. Roll a face-off down in the Guardian zone. Excellent effort there by Lombardo to keep that one out. Simonson pushes that puck up the wall. Comes back. Simonson goes cross ice to O'Brien. Now we got Campbell. He's able to. Oh, he would have had a breakaway. He was just caught in his skates there. He wasn't able to hold on to it. We're going to be offsides. We'll bring the face off just outside the Mavericks zone. Face-off won by the Mavericks. They then chip it up into the neutral zone, which goes to Simonson. Simonson steps around one guy, then moves it out into the middle of the ice. He gets it over to O'Brien. O'Brien now with it. He hits the brakes. He's centering pass. He's not able to get it there. They then chip it out. That's going to go all the way down the length of the ice, but not enough for an icing, forcing Cromlin to go back to regroup. Cromlin circles around in his own zone. He steps around one guy as he starts to move through the neutral zone. He then tries to chip it up to Algren, but that's going to be long, allowing Mavericks to get control of the puck. They then chip it up out of the zone. Cromlin's then going to dump it back in. That's going to be offsides. Mavericks will draw back into their zone, but that's going to go out of the reach of their defender. That goes all the way into the far corner. They go D-to-D behind the net and then up to the half wall as they start to break it out of the zone. They then go cross ice. That's going to go up over the stick. Simonson's going to get back. He picks it up. He goes around behind the net. He hits the brace. He comes back the other way. He gets it over to O'Brien. O'Brien then tries to get it into the middle to Campbell. But that's broken up. Mavericks send the puck back into the zone. Simonson now regrouping. He dumps it around behind the net to Cromlin. Cromlin picks it up. He starts to skate it up towards the half wall. That's chipped out to Algren. Algren now steps into the middle of the ice. He starts to gain the zone. He's then taking out the puck. He picks it back up in the corner. He's then has that puck stripped away. Mavericks now coming back out of the zone through the neutral zone. They pass it cross ice. They're going to pick it up on the far side. They chip it around. Cromlin's now trying to block that play out front. Amos is there to intercept. Amos tries to get it up. That's going to be offsides as Barr got into the zone as that puck was tipped coming up to him. .9:25 left in the third period. Score still 1-1. Face-off just outside the Mavericks zone. Mavericks push that puck down into the neutral zone. Simonson now, or Hagee steps up. He comes around. He's able to push that puck up the boards and then dump it in down deep. Olsen's going to go back along with Amos. Barr's going to try to battle there on the half wall. He breaks that play up and then tries to dump it back deep. Mavericks pick it up on the half wall. They skate it around. They're going to rim that around the far side. They then go up the wall. Then go cross ice. That's broken up. Barr now trying to get to him. He pushes him to the outside. They're forced to dump it in. Lombardo picks it up. Maverick then throws it out to the half wall. That's blocked by Higgy. The puck's loose in his skates. Amos now picks it up. He then goes cross ice. That's long. Barr now in pursuit. He's in a puck race. That puck then gets shot around behind the net to the far side. Mavericks now throw it out. That's intercepted by Higgy. Higgy now stepping around. He skates into the net. He puts it on net. That deflects out. Mavericks pick it up as they start to skate it out of the zone. They chip it off to the side as they're moving to the neutral zone. He's broken up. Puck goes down into the near corner, or far corner. Guardians battling. Barr pokes that puck behind the net. He then picks it up. He chips it around, trying to get it up to Olsen. It's then broken up. Mavericks come out with it. They shoot it out in the middle. Puck's now loose in front of the net. Higgy picks it up in the corner. Higgy now starts to skate it up out of the zone. He moves it up. That's intercepted. They fire it on net. Olsen now starting to move out of the zone. He moves up the far side. He still has control of the puck. He's centering past. That deflects up into the far corner. O'Brien's there. He's going to chip it out. Simonson's able to hold the zone there. Still battling. Guardians unable to chip it up. Mavericks then try to go across the ice. It hits the skates and stays in the zone. Conlon picks it up on the backside. He fires it on net. That's deflected out front. Shot. Goalie slides over and is able to keep that one out. Great scoring opportunity. Conlon shoots that one. Deflects off. Alden picks it up on the backside. Goalie sliding over on his belly and able to keep that one out. So big save there for the Mavericks to keep this score still tied up at 1. Face off down in their zone. Mavericks win the draw down the corner. They throw it at the boards. Simonson picks it up on the point. He gets it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now trying to chip it back to himself. Mavericks now come out with it as they start to skate it out of the zone. They chip it around. Campbell's goes back to pick it up. He starts to move it up into the middle of the ice through the neutral zone. He chips it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now moving up the far side. He dumps it deep. Walgram's going to go down in the corner, pick it up. He's knocked off the puck. Campbell there battling. Walgram picks it up behind the net. He's met with pressure by the Mavericks. He comes out. He gets it over to Simonson. Simonson fires it towards the net. That's blocked away. Simonson's able to hold his own there. He fires it towards the net. Puck's loose out in front. Mavericks now trying to hit it to safety. Guardians hold his own once again. Simonson now with it. He hits the brakes. He fires it. And that's a glove save by the Mavericks. .6:13 left in regulation here. Score 1-1. Face off down in the Mavericks zone. Both teams lining up to take the draw. Mavericks win the draw down in the corner. They then throw it up the middle of the ice. They got a guy cherry picking down to the far side. They move it into the zone. They then drop it back. That's broken up down into the corner. Simonson or Higgy battling down behind the net. Barr chips it out, trying to get it to Amos. Amos goes back to pick it up. Amos then goes cross ice. Olsen's going to pick it up here on the far side. Barr now with it as he starts to enter the zone. That's broken up right on the blue line. Mavericks now trying to come back the other way. Barr now with it as he starts to enter the zone. He's got some guys battling with him. That comes back to Olsen. Olsen now, he's met by 3 Maverick players. He fires it towards the net. That's a goal! Olsen gets it at the top of the circle, fires it on net, and that is goal number 2 for the Guardians. Led through a lot of traffic there, ends up over the glove of the Omaha goaltender, and that's goal number 2. .5:28 left in the third period. Scores now 2-1. Mavericks win that draw as they start to move it through the neutral zone. Simonson pokes that puck over to the wall. They're then rimming around. That's going to go to the far side. Cron then goes back to battle in the corner. Walgram's there to help out. That comes out to Campbell. Campbell's then knocked off the puck. They then shoot it. That's deflected by their own player deep into out into their zone. They regroup. They then go cross ice as they move it through the neutral zone quickly. They then make a pass all the way across the blue line, forcing them all to have to get back on sides. It's then broken up. O'Brien now with the puck. He chips it off the boards. Ogren chips it back to O'Brien. O'Brien now chips it up to Campbell. Campbell now moving up the far side. He does that high out the glass to get that puck in a little deeper. Comes back to Campbell behind the net. He passes it out front. Shot. 2 shots to the hoop. Great saves there and covered up. Wow, what a play Moved it right out front. First shot saved by the goaltender. He gets his rebound. Another shot. He's able to get his leg pad over and keep that puck out of the net. 4:40 left in regulation. We'll face off down in the Mavericks zone. Face-off's one. Olsen shoots. That's blocked over in the corner. Higgy's going to pick it up. He comes around. He chips it down deep into the zone. Bar now battling. He gets it out front. Olsen tries to fire. That's hit off the stick. Mavericks now able to get control of it. Skated out of their zone. They then pass it to the far side as they're moving up through the neutral zone. They fire it on net. That goes way wide into the near corner here. Moravic's going to pick it up. He's going to chip it up to Olsen. Olsen's then going to chip it up, and that's going to be an icing. Face off down in the Guardian zone. Face off loose. That ends up going down into the Guardian's corner. Ogden's there. He backhands it up to Campbell. Campbell now moving it out of the zone. We got a 2-on-2 coming back the other way. He moves it into the middle of the ice, tries to get through. He's taken down. That's going to be a penalty on the Mavericks. And we'll have a whistle, and we'll go on the power play. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Brian picks it up in the corner. He then goes back to Simonson. Simonson hustles up. Dumps it back into the corner. Mavericks then rim it around back to the far side. They then come around. They're starting to move it up the near boards here. They start to move it up to the neutral zone. They go cross ice. Simonson steps up. He breaks that play up. Puck's loose just inside the Guardian zone. Auburn now picks it up. He starts to skate it into the zone. He moves it out into the middle. He gets that broken up. Puck's now loose out in front, ends up behind the net. O'Brien's now battling. He's taken down. Mavericks now skating it out of their own zone. They move across ice. Simonson's there. He's putting pressure on right at center ice. Crowley now picks it up behind his own net as he starts to break it out. He gets it, trying to get it up to Campbell, but Brian's here to pick it up in the neutral zone. He skates it to the far side. He hits the brakes. He's taken down. Crowley now trying to get control of this puck. Mavericks pick it up. Barr now intercepts. He's starting to move it up the ice. He moves it off into the middle. Campbell can't quite hold on. He's a little bit behind him. They're then able to dump it in. Mavericks pick it up behind their net as they start to regroup. They move it up to the half wall and then move it in the middle of the ice. That's intercepted. That's going to be offsides, forcing the Guardians to have to regroup. Olsen now picks it up as he tries to get it deep into the zone. They then go cross ice. That goes to Higgy. Guardians going to get on sides just bare. Oh, they're going to call off sides on that one. And we'll have a face-off just outside the zone. 2:16 left in the third period. Score still 2-1. Barr's going to pick up that draw. He moves it back to Higgy. Higgy then fires up the boards deep into the zone. Olsen starts to move in, putting on a forecheck. He go D-to-D behind the net. They then start to skate it out of the zone. They pass up the middle. That's intercepted by Higgy. Higgy now circles around, creates some time, waiting for his guys to get back on side. He moves it through the middle of the ice. He moves it to the outside. He's taking off the puck. Amos now trying to move it deeper into the zone. He's taking off the puck. That's poked away nearly by Olsen, but Mavericks coming back 3-on-2 the other way. They move it over to the far side. Moravicek then pushes them out as they rim it around behind the net. Amos can't get to that puck on the half wall, and they're able to dump it back down deep. Puck's now loose right on the blue line. They're able to hold it, dump it back down in deep.
We got 6. It's
They shoot that on net. Lombardo gets it. That pokes out. Higgy now with it. He throws it hard around the boards. They're able to hold the zone, dump it back down deep. Comes out. Higgy now skating it out of the zone. He gets over. He's got the open net. That comes right towards the net. Olsen now putting on pursuit. They move it up the ice. They then go cross ice. Barr intercepts. He moves it up to Amos. Amos fires it on net. That's just blocked as that was on its way into the net. Mavericks now moving into the zone. They shoot. That goes wide. Puck's now behind the net. They try to centering out front. Puck's loose. Campbell now. He gets it. That's going to go the length of the ice. And they're going to call an icing. With 33 seconds left in the game, we'll have a face-off down in the Guardian zone. Their goaltender is still on the bench, so they'll have an extra skater here as they try to equalize this one. Face off, that comes down into the corner. Cromlin battling. Mavericks come out with it. They pass it out to the top. They move it out in the middle to the far side. They fire. That's blocked. That's loose, and they score. With 21 seconds left, they tie it up. Shot that came from the point. Bartle stops the first one, drops down right in front of them. They bang it in on the weak side. Back to 5-on-5. They put their goaltender back in the net. Campbell picks up the puck. He chips it around. He then chips it up into the boards. Brian now trying to get control of the puck. We got 12 seconds left. That rims around behind the net. 9 seconds left. Battling for the puck. They're trying to hold it up against the wall. So we got 3 seconds, and that's going to do it for this period. We're ending this one in a tie in regulation.
I think the coaches are talking about what they want to do. We have all the time in the world here.
Both teams talking. I anticipate they'll do a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the overtime.
What was that word, Seal?
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'm head out west with real women coming quick with scripts and fake press. Got a nest in the hills, chill like Flint, buying old drop top box line for building. I'm a kid, get up and down your block, but with the bottle of scotch and watch lights of crotch. Buy a yacht with a flag saying chills on the most.
Win the draw as they get possession first of this 3-on-3 overtime. They then go cross ice as they start to move into the Guardian zone. They fired on net, and that's gloved and held on to by Lombardo. Mavericks come away with the draw. Simonson's going to go battle behind the net. Simonson's able to get possession. He starts to move it up out of the corner. He then moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien toe drags around one and then moves it to Olsen on the far side. He's not able to get control of it. They dump it back into the neutral zone for Simonson to pick up. Simonson now skating it deeper into the zone. He blows an edge. Mavericks pick it back up. They move it then. They wrap it around. That's kept out by Lombardo. Olsen then fires it down the length of the ice. That's going to be an icing.
We're like hustle.
Mavericks come away with a draw. They're at a miscommunication. We now got a foot race. Barr's going to win possession there. He gets control of it in the corner. He starts to walk it out of the corner. He moves it out to the top. He then passes it over to Amos. Amos now with it. He passes it back to Barr. Barr tips it. Just goes wide. Mavericks now pick it up behind the net. They start to skate it out. They then move it up the ice to the far side. Jackson trying to move over. He breaks that up as he's going to get control of possession. He then shoves it up the boards. Moravchuk picks it back up. He tries to get it up. That's intercepted in the middle of the ice. Mavericks now coming back the other way. They move it cross ice. That chips around right to him. Shot. That's pushed away by Lombardo. Comes through right on the backside there. Bardow moving it up out of the zone. He moves it up to Moravchuk. Moravchuk gets it up to Amos. Amos now battling. He gets taken out the puck. They go back into the zone. That's going to be offsides. Barr, all he had to do was just circle back, wait for his player to get out of the zone. He had the whole left side of the ice open. But we'll have a line change here and face off just outside the zone with 3:02 left in overtime. Mavericks come away with the draw there. They start possession first. That's stripped off by Campbell. Campbell now moving it over. Campbell goes deep in the zone. He hits a brace. He's taken on by one of the Mavericks players. Mavericks now strip him off the puck as they circle around. They hit the brace. They're starting to come back the other way. They start to skate around the zone. They then move it back to the other side. They then try to move it up the ice. That's broken up by Higgy. Battle in there for possession. Higgy steps around one guy. He's got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Moves it over to Algrim. Algrim back to Higgy. Higgy spans on it. He's not able to put that one away. He struggles back through the middle. He gets taken down. Mavericks now coming back the other way. We're going to have a penalty. So Guardians will add a fourth skater to the mix here. Face-off will come back into the Mavericks zone. We got Simonson, Cromwell, O'Brien, and Olsen on the ice. Mavericks come away at the draw. Olsen's going to get possession of the corner. He tries a centering pass. That's kicked off a skate. It's then rimmed all the way around to Simonson at the point. Simonson steps around. He tries to get it back to O'Brien. O'Brien now with it. He moves it cross ice to Olsen. Olsen fires it on net. That goes wide. O'Brien picks it up behind the net. He hits the brakes. He's taking off the puck. Mavericks now with it, moving it out of the corner. They then go cross ice. That's going to bounce off into the length of the ice. Most likely not enough for an icing. Forcing Crown, then they go back to pick it up with 1:46 left in the period. He goes up to Simonson on the half wall. Simonson now with it. He goes down. He's unable to hit that puck to safety. They then move back on the point. They fire. That goes up over the top of the net. Olsen picks it up in the near corner. He moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to chip it back up to Olsen. O'Brien's able to get it back. O'Brien struggling to get control of that puck. He's taken on by sides. We're going to be offside. .122 left in the overtime period. 35 seconds left on this man advantage here for the Guardians. Face-offs one to Higgy. Higgy starts to move it right into the zone. He's battling right there on the wall. Mavericks now move it to the far side. That moves to the far side. Higgy tries to step up, get control. That kicks out to Morbacek. Morbacek now moves it off the boards. Morbacek now starts to skate it out of the zone. He moves it up to Amos. Amos is then taking off the puck. Amos gets it back. He starts to move it into the corner. Now Higgy picks it up. He hits the brakes as he starts to create some space. Got 46 seconds left. He comes back the other way. He starts to move it deeper into the zone. He cuts back. He then steps around, moves it over. Mavericks now pick it up. Higgy's taking off that puck. They move it. They throw it through the middle of the net. Jackson Morbacek then. Puck's coming through the middle. He kicks it into the net. And that's going to do it. Mavericks will come away with this one. That's a heartbreaking loss there. For the Guardians. It's one of those bad bounces. Immediately hands go on top of the head. So that's hockey. That kind of stuff happens. We'll come back, we'll regroup, and we'll take them here in the last final game of this series. So both teams down, shaking hands. So for now, it's Guardians hockey signing off. We'll be back at 10:30 for the second game of the day. Thank you for watching.